John on the WoodTube forum asked about this sled that I have, which is a mitering sled, and it's really meant for making picture frames, is what it's good at. So it has, you can miter on two sides. So it allows you to cut one side and then turn it around and cut the other side. And you can make multiples of these that are exactly the same length because of this stop. So it's good for making picture frames where you need two sides or four sides to all be exactly the same. Now, I made this in 2005 in the summer, so it's been a little while. So I don't remember how I made it perfectly square, except that I think it was just a lot of trial and error. I don't remember if there were any tricks to it, because it both this angle has to be exactly 90 degrees, and then the angle with the blade has to be exactly 45 for it to make a miter. Now, I think this was in the Fine Woodworking magazine sometime in the spring of 2005, but I haven't been able to find the actual article. But that's where I got the design from to make this sled. There's a little bit of a lip on the rail to hold the stop, so the stop fits in there. The stop's got a little slot and a screw, so it fits in there, and it's screwed so it can be held down. And it just has a bunch of hold downs, which I don't find I use all that often. If I've got a tricky piece or something, then I'll use those. But it forces you to make the angles correct. I think before I made this, I managed to screw up the angles on a few picture frames where both miters were parallel and they need to be 90 degrees from each other. So that's what this is really good with. I find that I need to put my roller stand out here because it floats out over the table saw, and it sticks out so far it'll fall off the table saw if I don't have a stand for it. That's sort of the only thing to remember. So it just has two wood rails underneath that slide in the table saw. And I have screws at the underneath and from the top, so I must have screwed it together or put in a screw and got them in place and then played with the angle until I got the angle just right. And then I put in more screws and fully attached the pieces. The fence on this, I'm remembering now, is low like this because in a kind of standard picture frame, there's a rabbet on the back that holds the glass and the art and the backing and all that stuff. So that rabbet can ride over this edge, and the fence actually lines up with the inside of the rabbet, and you hold the hold downs work on the thick part of the frame. I hope that helps with my miter sled. So ask more questions.